Howdy, friends. Welcome to Brain Drain Unlimited Foundation. This is Monday, and every Monday we do another episode in our series Meet Your Neighbor. And today, our neighbor is going to be Halloween. We're going to be talking about fall. And my name is Konstantin. I'm a co founder of Brain Drain, and I'm joined by Manus, Eric, and Tamara. Um, Welcome.
Yes.
Friends,
Okay.
I suggest we make it customary so we can introduce ourselves. Is it,
Sure.
so everyone knows who we are.
And I'll start off. I am Manus, co-founder, Brain Drain. And yes, today, Halloween, scary but fun. And we have uh, a lot of things that have progressed in our organization. So we hope that you're excited about it as we are, and we'll get to them as we talk. And for now, let's hear from Eric.
Hey, I'm Eric Lichtis, and I'm based out of California. I run the technical operations at Brain Drain. Everything you see online has my hand on it. And so I'm happy to be here and contribute whatever I can to our fall celebration today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tamara. I'm Director of Compliance in Brain Drain, and I'm a Russian lawyer. And I left Russia, and now I live in Uzbekistan, Tashkent.
Okay. All right. For me, the big news or big relief is that I finally finished the 990 form for the IRS, which was a very how would you say time-consuming task, but it's done. It wasn't that difficult, but it was just time-consuming. But that puts us in position for other fundraising opportunities, for growing this organization, and for helping those who we are setting out. Our mission is to help, bring them here and let them set up their lives. So that's my big news.
Yeah, absolutely. We now have gold status on Candid. And for the audience listening, Candid is kind of like the Yelp or one of the rating systems for nonprofits out there where we file all of our information and everyone can see our performance and how we're doing in the community and whatnot. So we encourage people to check us out on Candid. Also, Charity Navigator is another site that we are listed on. So we're pretty proud of achieving gold status. That's going to get us some additional access to different connections and different grants we can apply to. So exciting news.
Yes. All right.
So today I think we're going to talk a little bit about just brain drain and autumn in general. And I thought today we've got Halloween coming up in the United States. I thought it might be kind of interesting just to kind of compare and contrast memories of autumn, and to see if we can talk a little bit about different cultures, autumn celebrations. What do y'all think?
That sounds like a plan. I do want to say
I
though
think, I
that
think it's a great plan.
Go ahead.
I agree.
I do want to point out to anybody who's looking at the audience, we did have a guest scheduled, but we decided to postpone it because this guest is particularly at risk, and we don't want to endanger him and or his family just yet. And but that moving on, I think that kind of like goes right into what the Halloween nature, where you get these little scares. But I think we'll be fine, and he'll be fine, and we'll be able to bring him in. So, go ahead, Konstantin. You're about to say something about Halloween.
I I think it's actually a very interesting topic for us to discuss because two things. First, Halloween is very different from other holidays that we have in Russia, well, in Ukraine and other countries of the former USSR. We never had Halloween. We never had the fall celebration, so to speak. And I have quite a few personal stories to share. And another interesting thing is that Halloween is being isolated right now by Russian propaganda and Russian state, and making it. They're making it some kind of a symbol of the West, symbol of Satanism, symbol of everything that is bad out there, beyond Russia. And there's actually struggle, well, not a struggle, assault, that's the right word. There's right now as we speak, there's assault on Halloween, and I think that's something worth talking about, at least mentioning.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that we've had that debate here over the years in the United States too about, I remember scares throughout the years. I don't know about you, Manus, but Halloween being the devil's the devil's holiday, and kids shouldn't celebrate. And,
I always viewed it as an inconvenience for parents. Yeah. You have to purchase the costumes. You have to escort your children as they walk through the neighborhood. Unfortunately, or fortunately, in today's climate, the kids now go to they have these parties that they go to, if you want to call it. Our school, for the kids, they sponsored a thing at the school, and so the kids went there and they had a great time. And of course, they bring home candy, and then you have the battles of the candy with specifically the moms. Kids want to eat it all right away, and moms tend to think that that's not a good idea. So I
have
don't
you
know
seen
what it's
any
like
of the
here in Russia.
viral videos going around in the States the last couple of years about where they record a video saying to the kid that they ate all the candy?
Yeah, I think I did see some of that. Yes. Yes.
It's pretty funny. The mom will come to the kid and just as a trick, just to see the kid's reaction, just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, mommy and daddy ate all your candy last night." See the kid's result.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
So what was your favorite costume growing up as a kid, Manus?
Oh,
I can see you as Buck Rogers or something.
no. Nothing too fancy for me like that. If anything, if I was to dress up now, I'd dress up as an ICE agent. I just something simple. You know, uh, I never was into the. I never had the patience or the desire to come up with elaborate costumes or makeup or anything like that. I was too lazy to do that. So
Well, it seems like
what about
nowadays in the States, it's almost just as much of a party for adults
yes,
as it is for
yes,
kids. You'll see that in all the big cities. There'll be a bunch on Halloween night, at all the bar districts. There'll be adults in costumes walking around, and
yep. All right. How about you, Tamara? What's your Halloween like?
I was born in Leningrad, USSR, and Soviet times. Autumn meant two things: September 1st and back to school, and obligatory farm work, mainly digging up potatoes in the fields. And everything changed after the Soviet collapse. By the late 19th, the West came to St. Petersburg bringing Halloween. And I remember how we celebrate Halloween in school. It was very funny.
Okay.
So do you remember your first Halloween?
I think no.
And Konstantin, I
that.
remember you saying about digging potatoes.
Well, Tamara, could you please? I'm trying to make a community post with announcement. Can you please tell us when you started celebrating Halloween at school and how was it at school? Because I graduated high school in '93, and certainly Halloween hadn't made it to Russia at that time. So, and then I went to school, to college, and then I moved to the USA. So I kind of missed like the '90s culture of Halloween. What was it like in Russia?
I remember my school days clearly. We were still going to collect potatoes, but now we were also throwing these amazing spooky theme parties. It was a blast, a new kind for fun. But today everything changed in Russia, as I know. It's not banned officially, but state authorities strongly recommend against it because it goes against traditional values.
How about when was your first Halloween? Do you remember that? It's really interesting to
I think
nail when they started celebrating.
I think it was I was near 12 years old in St. Petersburg, and we had a really nice disco party at school.
12 years old. So I take it's mid-90s sometimes.
Yes.
Interesting. So, and then you can see the difference between digging potatoes in different Russian districts. If you weren't done digging potatoes out in Rostov by, I'd say, September 7th, forget about your potatoes. Then too late. Because we would start, well, usually rains, and then potato would start getting this mold, gets moldy, and then it's too overripe, so to speak. So, but in St. Petersburg it's much colder, so potatoes, I think they started digging around this, September.
Okay.
Oh
Yes.
no, it's are you sure? Are you sure? Because in October it's really cold. The ground is frozen in St. Petersburg.
Yes,
sure
it
it was
was in the
potatoes?
beginning in September, in the end of the October.
Interesting. So that's the difference between Rostov and St. Petersburg. If you look at Russia's map, it's completely different parts. Russia is the south and St. Peter's at the north. Interesting. I have also some history. I actually, believe it or not, but I remember when my first Halloween was. It was in Portland, Maine. There's a little bit of sound interference going on. Is this me? Let's nail it. Whose side is that on? I'm gonna shut
It's
the
Tamara.
microphone off. Okay. There you go. There you go. So, I arrived to Portland, Maine, to my second school. My first school was UC Davis. I had summer session there, and obviously it was in the summer. And then I started, going. I lived on campus, and we had a Halloween party. We only saw Halloween stuff in the movies in the 80s. So I had an idea that Halloween was some kind of celebration, and there was a lot of horror movies about Halloween, of course. Yeah, I watched those. I loved those, but I didn't know what Halloween was about. Some kind of freakish thing, that's So, and then I remember that we had an announcement at that dorm about a Halloween party being thrown out for residents of the dorm, and there was a party, and we showed up. There were quite a few international students living in the dorm. Gosh, we walk in, and there's guys and girls sitting there dressed up like I don't know, funny. Yeah, yeah. Not talking about kids. We're talking about 20-year-olds. And then there's
Yes.
people that I knew in everyday life. I'd meet them. I knew everyone by name, basically, because it was not a huge dorm right in the middle of Portland, Maine, on a Congress Street. So, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And so most of us weren't dressed up, and they were. And the Americans, a lot of Americans were dressed up. The international students we had no clue. We looked at them funny. And then that kind of spoiled the spirit of Halloween. So there was no celebration or anything like that. So, of course, all around us, something weird was going on. All this pumpkin heads and all those crazy decorations and things like that. Sales, oh boy, Halloween sale. It started like a month before Halloween, and I liked atmosphere in general, but it was kind of foreign for me, foreign holiday for me. I started warming up to it when I started doing Halloween with my daughter Sky. 2001, 2002, 2003, she was old enough to actually walk around with her siblings and knock on the door and say trick or treat and scare people and all of that. And it was so much fun. I loved it. I ate the candy too. I'll be honest with you. Sky, what'd you get? He's like, I got a Snickers. I got Reese's Peanuts cups. I don't like Reese's Peanuts. Just give me a Snickers. Hey, guilty is charged. I've always had like sweet tooth. It's candies were a really messed up situation in the US. We didn't have many candies.
Yeah.
We had just a few types, and they were rare, and they were like real dessert. So you'd get them once in a while. You'd get them at family gatherings, big birthday parties, things like that. But they weren't available like in the United States. It was very different. Now, I enjoyed the candies, but the whole thing was so cool. It's like, you see, it's not a holiday per se, like everyone dresses up. It's a tradition, and it's what's this right word? It's the process, it's the gathering, it's getting together with kids. Families get together. For example, would take Sky and drive her down to see her siblings. And then sometimes the following year, her siblings would come to our house, and then the kids would get together and would just be hanging out and playing together and walking around from neighbor to neighbor, knocking on the door, and they'd do it together. And we would just be the family. We would gather behind, and we were just like looking at it, and it was a good time. And that's what it was about, a good time. And the kids absolutely loved it, and we loved when our kids loved it. So I never took Halloween as something religious or anti-religious. To me, it's absolutely crazy. Halloween is in the eye of beholder, so to speak. You can have any attitude you like towards this holiday, but to me, it was just a fun thing to do. Okay. Um, and I think it's very unique to the USA because there's not much of a Halloween happening anywhere else that I've gone to. some countries with very American culture penetration, I can't even think of anything.
Yeah, it's a
Well, anyway,
pretty commercial holiday here. I'd have to look back to the whole history of it. I know originally, Manus, maybe you can jump in on this, but I think originally it was an Irish holiday, right? All Saints Eve, All Hallows Eve, right?
Yeah, it's. I know November 1st is, I believe, All Saints Day
All Saints Day, right?
for the Roman Catholic Church.
So
And
it was All Hallows Eve the night before.
yeah, it's to remember all those people who didn't quite make it as saints. I guess I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. I know. I know different cultures have different traditions, about it. Mexico is what, the Day of the Dead,
Yeah,
but
Mexico
that's
around this time is
yeah,
the Dia de la Muertes, and for them it's more of a celebration. They go to the grave sites and have a party.
yes, yeah, yeah. So again, it's like we said. I I remember the traditions, and I still see them. Where the kids put on their costumes, and they truly enjoy it. And you know, uh, picking up the kids at school. Uh, just when was that? Last Friday when I went to pick them up. No, more than half the kids were in costume. So yeah, they had a little party there at the school. So, and then they had it again on Saturday. You know, so
So
who knows? We'll see.
what's the big fall holiday in Russia then? Is there a harvest? Do you have harvest festivals and those types of things?
Potato picking.
Potato festival?
Yeah, potato digging festival.
We didn't have a full holiday. The 7th of November, that was the
Hmm.
full holiday. It was the biggest celebration of the year. There was a military parade always. And that was, when I was growing up, was the day I was looking for because of the parade, obviously. To me, it was a thing of joy that my country was so strong, that it had tanks and rockets and soldiers and missiles and and then all going on the Red Square. And I remember when I was a kid, like 5, 6 years old, 7, I dreamt of actually seeing it with my own eyes. When I grew up, became the teenager, I started smelling something fishy about that parade and all of that. I started asking questions. Somehow, I don't know, miraculously, I got logic and common sense, and I started asking questions. First myself, and then I started asking adults, and they didn't help me. They started, don't say it, shut up, things like that. And then that kind of fueled my curiosity even more. I was saying, okay, what the heck is going? Why can't you just tell me straight? But anyway, it doesn't matter. So what was the big holiday? 7th of November. Other than that, we didn't have many holidays in the USSR, to be honest with you. We May 1st, May 9th, New Year, and 7th of November, and that's it. 1st of January was day off. 2nd was a regular work day. And Russia, everything changed in Russia. Of course, 7th of November was forgotten. New Year was the biggest celebration of the year, but that's not quite the full. I don't know. Tamara, help me out here. Do you remember any big holidays? Well, May 1st and May 9th kind of stayed, but and New Year.
We have a very strange holiday in St. Petersburg. It's a holiday of special kind of fish.
Local fish.
Local fish, korushka. It smells like cucumber. It's
Fresh cucumbers.
my husband tried to help me. And I have a very funny personal story about Halloween. In ninth grade, I was looking for a Halloween costume at a rental store, and they only had one available, a traditional Russian costumes with kokoshnik. Yes, and I felt really very strange at the party.
Okay.
Tamara, kurushka in English is smelt.
Okay. So,
Oh, the Smelt
Smelt.
Festival.
Yes, a smelt festival.
okay.
I've never had smelt in my life, by the way.
It's very strange for me too.
It sounds like
where-
something
where
we
I-
Norwegians would do.
Yeah,
fish
well, I
festival.
think they have some kind of fish festival. The Finnish do. Norwegians, they must. I mean, they also have smelt, don't they?
Mhm.
We had different kinds of fish in the south. Warm water fish like catfish, bream or brem, bass, regular stuff. But then St. Petersburg is north, so it was very different in the north.
What about pumpkin? That's a controversial thing. In the United States, it's become a big joke about everything is pumpkin spice this time of year. Pumpkin spice pie, pumpkin spice. That seems to be something that's kind of specific to the United States, is eating pumpkin. Is that what, Konstantin, Tamara? Do you eat pumpkin pie?
We had plenty of pumpkins in the south. My parents loved it. I couldn't stand it. I tried it when I was a kid. I didn't like it somehow, and I didn't. I'm just discovering the taste now, to be honest with you, because of. By the way, that's a figure of speech. To be honest with you, in Russia it's okay, and I guess in America it means that if I say that, other times I'm not honest with people. But anyway, Natasha, she loves pumpkin. My mom loves pumpkin, and then they bake it. It actually tastes pretty good. Pumpkin latte is a big meme right now in Russia. They want to emphasize that some Russians live life, in the clouds somewhere. The rich kids, or as people are so detached from reality, they said, "Oh, he must be drinking pumpkin latte," because it's a very hip thing in Moscow and in St. Petersburg, and it costs a lot. It costs like thousands of rubles, I guess, hundreds and hundreds, thousands. So, quite a few dollars, and then regular Russians can't afford it. So those who drink pumpkin lattes, they're not really detached from reality. Let's put it this way. Tamara, what do you think?
Yes, I know about this meme, and in St. Petersburg it's really cold. Pumpkin is the legacy for us. It's difficult to grow in our region.
But you must have it, brought to you from the south.
Yes,
I was gonna say imported, but delivered.
I enjoy eating pumpkins here in Uzbekistan. A lot of delicious food with pumpkin. Very nice.
We're gonna
Yeah,
have
you
a
said.
pumpkin party, by the way, in our house for Tashkent Breakfast Club kids coming up.
Are you going to carve the pumpkin?
I'm sure Michael and Dasha will. They
Yeah.
love it. The girls have been carving all their lives.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's probably something you don't do in Russia, is carve a pumpkin.
It's catching up. You see, this tradition started catching up in the early 2000s. For as long as I remember, the girls, Oля and Dasha, my daughters, they carved pumpkins with Natasha. I'm not a big fan. You know, I've never done that, but they did. They loved it. You know.
Of course, the other big thing in the States now is we've got the meme of pumpkin spice latte, but we've got the other meme that the holidays, the Christmas season, starts earlier and earlier every year. It seems like that already. So in the United States, Halloween is kind of the cutoff point of the minute Halloween is over, all of the Christmas decorations go up. And so we'll start to see already in the stores Christmas decorations here.
Hey, Eric, by the way, you asked about how deep Halloween has penetrated other countries. Well, pretty deep. And right now, I'm seeing a notification came on my cell phone in front of me, and it says it came from Dubai duty-free store. I flew through Dubai once, and at duty-free I bought something, filled out the form. It was a big mistake. Now I get emails from them once every few days, right? So this is what they sent me. Dubai duty-free store. A Halloween full of treats. Beauty, fashion, watches, Halloween candies, blah, blah, blah. Happy Halloween. Halloween full of treats season is here in Dubai. And so Dubai is celebrating Halloween.
Celebrate Halloween. Wow. American culture exported.
Soft power, that's what I call it.
To revisit the pumpkins, a couple of weeks ago, we went up camping. We went to the kids' camp, and we spent the weekend there. And one of the things they had was decorating pumpkins. So the Tanya and the kids, they got to it, and they were very proud of these pumpkins that they painted. They didn't carve them; they just painted them. So when we got home that Sunday, we put them out on the front porch in front of the house to display. Then the very next morning, the squirrels ate it. So,
yeah, growing up in Dakota, the deer love pumpkins, so they'll come and just eat the face off the pumpkin.
Yep, that's what they did. They ate the face off. So, but yeah. So, Konstantin, what was your first costume then? You didn't have one the first year. Did you have one the second year?
When I started dating Bonnie, well, obviously we went to a Halloween party, and I was Frankenstein.
Okay.
And then my ex-wife's girlfriend, she was dressed. She was a doctor, and then her husband then was a doctor, and they were dressed like evil doctors or something like that, And then I remember her first reaction. She looked at me and she said, "Oh, Kostya, you actually do look like Frankenstein."
Thanks, dear.
So I'm not gonna forget that. My first costume. Yeah. It was easy. Yeah. So now you can call me Frank instead of Konstantin. Frankstein.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember having any. I had friends that would go all out every year. They would start planning their costume months in advance, and I never was that ambitious for my costumes. Last minute.
I actually like it very much. I like the whole idea of dressing up. The older I grow, the more I like it, because I think that what keeps us alive is fun. lightheartedness, you know, and that's what Halloween is about. You break your routine. You know, you dress up, and it's always fun. And even if you hate it, yeah, it's fun. You go to a party, you see your friends dressed up like weirdos and in crazy costumes, and that's fun. That's just it's fun. It's fun. I think that it makes our lives more colorful. Okay, and I
Yeah.
actually love, you know, I've been to Disney World a couple times and the Universal Studios in Orlando, and the best thing I've ever seen out of all amusement things, I remember we went around this time, well, early November, late October. It was me. Yeah, I think it was our honeymoon. Yeah, yeah. After we got married, so we went there and we went to Universal Studios. And I remember there was no advertising or anything like that. And all of a sudden, a sign started popping up, and Universal Studios was closed early at 8 p.m. due to Halloween celebrations, right? And then as we try to leave, we see this like part number 2 of the day. Only it's getting dark already, and it's like Halloween nights at Universal Studios. For like extra $40, you can limited time offer, and then only for like 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. And then basically we said, well, why not? So we went, we bought the ticket, and we went. And what they do is they close down the rides and everything. They put different kind of lightning, very scary looking lightning, and they like decorate all the rides and all the attractions differently. And they do it very fast, within like half an hour, something like that. And then so you get back to Universal Studios, and it's completely different theme park, right? It's dark, because you never go to Disneyland to Universal Studio when it's always sun out, but it's dark. It's lit up like it's really scary, out of the horror movie, and there's a bunch of scary like characters, and the rides are different and also like horror themed.
Yeah.
It's like you just walk, and then there's a bunch of like people in dark costumes sit around, and one of them has chainsaw, and then they start running against you, after you, and then you run away from them. And it's fun. It's not like freakishly scary, but it's like fun scary. You know what I mean? It was just great. And there are like different Halloween rides, hay rides or something like that. All
Yeah,
over I know in
Disney
Maine
does
we had a
that.
different farms that where they had it. Kids absolutely loved it. So I think that's a great holiday. There are like many commercial holidays in America, like President's Day, or I don't know, Columbus Day. But I think that Halloween is the most fun out of all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Disneyland out here always does a big thing. I was just in an Uber ride a few weeks ago, and the Uber driver was telling me about someone he picked up. We have these super Disney fans that come out here to California. They're just everything Disney they love. And so that was the big celebration out here. They called it the Oogie Boogie Bash. So you got to come in after dark for the and they were doing all the Nightmare on Elm Street, Jack Skellington. And so, yeah, Disney does that. They put on a whole overlay that you can go through the Haunted Mansion, and it's a whole different ride. And, but you mentioned hay rides, corn mazes, things like that. Those are
Yeah.
other things that. Have you ever
Yeah,
been
they
to a
often
corn
call.
maze?
No, we never grew corn in Maine, but I've been to many. Well, not many. A couple hay rides with Sky.
Okay. I think I wrote about it in our newsletter, but in America we take these holidays and we just expand on them. So yes, Halloween has always been in existence. It wasn't invented by the United States, but the sheer scope of children dressing up in costumes and running around and getting candy, that's definitely American. The same is true with St. Patrick's Day for the Irish. You know, that was always a very small, solemn occasion in Ireland where you just went to church that day. But United States, no, we have parades, we have whatever. And you can add Cinco de Mayo, which is, the 5th of May, which is
minor holiday in Mexico.
Minor holiday in Mexico, and but a big holiday here. If there's an excuse to have a party, you want to be in the United States. So
that's true.
May I add to that? It's not just an excuse to have a party. The USA is criticized a lot for commercialization of different holidays, but I think it's absolutely great. I think that's the power of free economy. That's the power of free entrepreneurship. Okay, because people see opportunities, they take opportunities, they create product or service that is liked and bought by other people. Otherwise there would be no product if no one likes it. And then that product or products and services, they bring joy to people's lives. And that's I think that's the fundamental strength of America. It is commercialized, but then in a good way, in fun way. People get so much joy out of all that stuff. And if it wasn't commercialized, there wouldn't be hay rides, there wouldn't be like this Halloween nights at theme parks, there wouldn't be costumes, because they're pushing sales of costumes like, son of a gun. So I really admire capitalism and free markets for that. So I think that's a very good indication of what America is all about.
That's a really interesting point coming from a non-American. We do get accused of commercializing everything, and yes, to a certain extent, I can say that probably in some cases we do overconsume. But I agree with you, Konstantin. I think it's kind of fun to have these holiday and
there are two types of people who criticize America: Americans themselves and non-Americans who've never been to America. Okay,
good point.
Let's put aside those who have never been to America. Okay, they can criticize whatever they want. I don't care. But then let's talk about Americans. I know a lot of people criticize the holiday season, the Christmas, and now let me tell you something. One can think anything they want to about Christmas or Halloween or I don't know, 4th of July, get into commercial. But once you leave the United States and start living in another country, you start missing the holidays. You start missing this commercial, celebrations, because that's a tradition. I always had fun in America when, right after Thanksgiving, there's Black Friday sale, and then you walk into any supermarket and then you start hearing Christmas music. I love it. I loved it back then. I still love it. And in Russia, when I moved, I missed it because there's no holiday season. There is Christmas and it's absolutely non-commercialized. And there's New Year. But then New Year, you get ready for New Year for a few days and then it's over on January 2nd. And that's it. My personal opinion, I absolutely loved the whole atmosphere. The music, the decorations, the mood, when you eagerly waiting for, all that celebration to kick in and things like that. So I absolutely love commercialization of it. In order to understand how you feel when you live without it, you need to actually move away from the United States and spend a few Christmases non-commercially boring way, and And that's why you understand how great this holiday in America is. One thing though, the music gets to it after a while.
Oh, yeah.
After like 2 weeks, every same song all over again. But you know what? I like those songs. I even
Yeah,
bought a CD with Christmas songs.
Until the 100th time you hear Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that's the big joke in the United States. Mariah Carey had what was it, the #1 stream song for I don't know how many years with her Christmas song.
Yeah.
Until someone broke it a couple of years ago. I think Taylor Swift or someone broke her record. But
by the way, do you know that in Europe they have different tradition? They have outdoor fairs.
yes,
but
we
they
had
don't
one in
last.
Switzerland.
They don't last for as long. Eric, I please tell me how long it lasted in Switzerland for.
Well,
Yeah,
we used
could you
to
please
do.
tell about Switzerland in general? Like, how do they celebrate Christmas? We're talking about Halloween today, but that's about like the holidays in general.
Yeah, well, in Switzerland, there was basically no harvest festival that I could remember of, or Thanksgiving per se. So I remember everyone being in the United States celebrating Thanksgiving, and I was working. But Christmas was neat. In Switzerland, where I lived, they had similar to in Germany, where they had the little Christmas market where they'd bring in these little chalets, little stands, little kiosks, and set them up all along the main street. And you would go. And so that was neat. The Christmas market, you'd go walk around and get roasted chestnuts and mulled wine. And
we have the same here in Philadelphia.
mhm.
So it starts the day after Thanksgiving, and it goes right up until New Year's Day. So it's but yeah, we have that little outdoor European style Christmas market. So
Of course,
where you find all these European trinkets made in China. So
well,
I gotta tell you something. One more thing. People say, well, they criticize the holidays for being too commercial. Well, in Europe, they don't have music anymore. They don't play music at Christmas fairs and outdoors due to copyright notice. This crazy copyright law came out in Europe. And I know I've faced so many times this copyright craziness. When you walk by, you're doing a live stream, and you walk by, like you hear music far away playing like a Western song. Boom, you get a copyright notice on YouTube. It's crazy. So in Europe, they don't play music any longer, and I think they're. That takes a lot away from Christmas. There you go. You have it less commercial now. How do you like that?
yeah. You reminded me of something earlier too about the parades. And the first year my wife was here, we went to the Thanksgiving Day parade, and initially she was kind of iffy about it. She wasn't all that psyched. She didn't necessarily want to go, but we went, and from then on, she loved it. It's just the difference. We don't have, up until our current fearless leader, we never had military parades. We have these goofy floats where people wearing costumes and singing songs and playing music and all that other stuff coming down the street and the road. And yes, the Thanksgiving Day parade was always commercialized to sell gifts for Christmas, but it's just I just know that we do parades differently and parties.
Yeah, our Thanksgiving ICBMs versus a giant inflatable Snoopy.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll bet on Snoopy.
Someone who grew up in the USSR and who was exposed to military parades from young age of 1, and then my first year in the USA, 97, I actually did go to New York and I did see Macy's parade. And it just doesn't even compare. The parade is New York is so much better than any military parade in Russia, in the USA, anywhere else. It's not compared. It cannot be compared. Macy's parade is just the way it should be. It's funny looking people walking around. Everyone smiles and waves your hands, and then in Russia you get this huge missiles, Topol M, the Satana rockets, and then just everyone is like, "Wow, mighty Russia!" So I like the other version.
Yep. All right.
Well, the other fall tradition that we're coming up to the end of the hour, but the other fall tradition that is unique to the United States is American football.
Oh yeah.
And that's, we're starting to expand now with a game or two abroad in London and in Mexico, but it seems to me like no one that I met from outside the States really got American football.
Well,
They're like, what?
Even the best of us in America sometimes don't catch an American football. I never did. I watched when Patriots were having their fabulous run, but other than that,
all my friends from Europe would tell me, well, and they're all used to watching rugby. Yeah. So they're all like, well, why? They made a play, they threw the ball. Why did they stop? They stop every 2 seconds.
And that's something that you can't explain, right?
Yeah. No, I'm like, no, that's just the yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's again, I never caught on baseball or American football. And then no one has ever looked at me a wrong way because of that. And that's the beauty
true.
of America. There's so much variety, and then you are free to choose whatever you want. You can be a fan of football, or you can hate it, or whatever. No one treats you differently because of that. That's a very interesting observation I made when I was I lived in Maine, and they kind of made me the fan of New England Patriots. I'd rather watch football, like real football, soccer games of European Champions League.
Yeah. Do we have any questions or comments coming in today? I see we had a comment about Black Friday at Home Depot. Yep. For those of you that don't know, that are outside the United States, what Black Friday is. So Black Friday, the reason it's called that is because in the old days, that was the one day a year throughout the year where retailers would finally see a profit. So they would finally be in the black instead of in the red. But what it's turned into in the United States is a huge shopping event for Christmas. So it's the day after Thanksgiving is always a 4-day holiday in the United States. And so Black Friday is the big sale day.
Yeah. I never participated in Black Friday, and I never really wanted to, but I know that it's not nearly as much as it once was. But people would get up at 4 a.m. and mark their spot on the sidewalk outside the store and just set up camp, because they wanted to be in there as soon as those doors opened. Yeah. And grab whatever was being advertised at whatever ridiculous price it was being advertised at.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, I said now with the online shopping, that's changed a little bit. But yeah, that was the deal. The stores would sell something ridiculously cheap as a lost leader, but they would only have like 10 of them. So
Yes.
so you'd have to line Soviet style, lining up on the street.
Soviets. Oh, trust me, that's different. Soviet style was, we were professionals. You'd be walking around and seeing a huge line, like a long snake goes like this, and then you wouldn't even ask what they sell. You just would put your spot, you'd stand in the line like, who is the last one? That's me. Okay, I'm right next. Okay, so please remember me. And then you start asking people, what are they selling? I actually remember that. But I also remember that back in the days, they opened the stores, Manus, not early in the morning, but at midnight. Some stores they opened at Maine Mall. We had like one large shopping mall in the entire state of Maine in the days, and then they would open some stores like Macy's, Lechmere. Used to be like, then I guess it was replaced by Home Depot at midnight.
Oh, I didn't say they went out at 4 a.m. to the stores that were open. The stores were closed. They just wanted to be there hours before the doors unlocked. And they would make a whole night of it, almost like a, what we call tailgating. And now if you go on Fiverr, you can actually sign up and be a professional standing in line for somebody.
Oh yeah, wasn't there a whole career around that in Russia, Konstantin?
No. That was considered a very bad thing to do, and that you could be beaten up for that.
Really?
I mean, people tried to do it, but...
So you couldn't hire somebody to stand in line for you?
You couldn't hire by two reasons. First is it was not welcome in the line. They literally could throw you out of the line. And second, you didn't have enough money to hire a person to stand in the line. If there was this opportunity to stand in line for other people, half of Russians would turn up and offer their services. Okay, I would definitely would. Okay, because you literally make money as you stand in line.
Yeah, the former mayor of Philadelphia, he got in trouble because, and this was during the iPhones, the initial iPhones, and they would have their launch date or whatever. But yeah, he would hire people to stand in line for him, keep his place in line. And we're talking, they would be sleeping on the sidewalks. They have their little tents there. People would come and relieve them so that they can go and find a bathroom somewhere and bring them something to drink and eat and everything like that. It was a whole ecosystem, to support that activity. And, again, it was nothing for me personally, but I saw it enough times and it was just crazy. But
so there you go. Only in America, professional line stander.
I also saw when I was my time in Russia and Ukraine, it seemed like a national pastime, and people would just get in line and have no idea why they were there.
Where did you see lions in Moscow?
Oh, several places. Mostly when you go to those markets and whatnot. That was my particular joke in my head as I saw people, lining up and, like, you have no idea why you're there. That was my thoughts, they could have had every reason to be there, but I always, when I'm out in the shopping world or whatever, I always look for the places with no lines and whatnot. And I used to joke with my wife or whatever, because she would just get into the closest line. That was usually the longest line. And I said, well, you guys are just predetermined to stand in line all the time. Come
Yeah.
with me.
You know where was
Yeah.
the biggest line always? The only line pretty much I saw. McDonald's.
Oh, yes.
McDonald's.
Remember those? You get into a food court of a large shopping mall, and there are like dozens of different places. You know, Wendy's, McDonald's, KFC, dozen of Russian different brands. You know, Kroshka, Kartoshka, Blini, and things like that. And everyone would be empty, and there would be a line at McDonald's. 10 people, 15 people, 12 people. Anywhere you go, you went in Russia, you'd see McDonald's with lions.
I remember
I
it
was
made
there.
the news here when that first one opened in Moscow. I remember
Oh, yeah.
seeing that on the news and the lines around the.
I saw
was
that on the news
there.
as well. Oh, you were there?
Not during the first one, but we're talking about in the early 2000s when I went to Russia for the first time, or mid 2000s. And when I went there, I went into the to the McDonald's in Russia. As you said, that there was a line at the counter or whatever, but that was at the takeout. You know, I just could not imagine. Everybody would go there, they get their burgers and their fries, and then they haul it back home for about an hour to an hour and a half. You know, it took you to get from, you know, to navigate the transportation system to get back to your home to eat that stuff. And I was like, ew, you know, because, you know, cold
Yeah.
McDonald's is not my idea of the best food. But in the store itself, I saw people are just getting the ice cream and sitting around and using the internet. You know, so that was the my
Well, and when the McDonald's opened over there, wasn't it? Didn't it cost like a week's salary? It was
It
like
sure did. It sure
terribly
did.
expensive.
And it sure the line was, I don't know, kilometer long. And I saw that on TV just as you did, Eric. And I was shocked. My parents were shocked. We saw finally the West came to Soviet Union. And then following day I went to school, and everyone, we couldn't even talk. We were just speechless. And we got together with my buddies and friends. And one question was, "Did you see that?" Like, yep. So what are we gonna do? We gotta go get it. Okay, how? We gotta save up for 6 months. We're gonna jump on a freight train. It's free. You know, we're gonna get to Moscow somehow. We're gonna get right to McDonald's. We're gonna eat it and then go back home. That was the plan. So we were to save up, 6 months to actually for that trip. Never made it the trip though, but that was the plan.
Okay. All right.
Well, gentlemen and lady, we're coming up on the
Yes.
top of the hour here. As always, it's been an interesting discussion. Who amongst us wants to close us out?
Um,
Go ahead, Konstantin.
Please, the stage is yours.
Oh, no, I just hey, keep an eye on us. We're moving fast, and we have a lot of things that are coming up. Be part of it. Follow us online. Follow us in our whatever, and hopefully you'll be as amazed as we are as these things start to fall into place.
Yes, absolutely. And as the holiday season approaches, we know that there's lots of opportunities for you to give to different places. The giving season is coming up. Everyone's looking for a gift, but we'd appreciate it if you kept us in mind and continued to tune in and follow our mission. And we'll be back again next week with another interesting discussion about cultural exchange and smart minds and how to bring good people into the United States.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Fantastic time. Thank you. I appreciate everyone.
All right.
See y'all.
you.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this and maybe even learned something new. If you did, don't just vanish into the algorithm. Hit like, subscribe, and follow us on social. It's the easiest way to support our work and make sure you never miss what's next. Want to stay in the loop without relying on big tech's mood swings? Sign up for our monthly newsletter. And if you've got the means, donations of any size keep our programs running strong. As a 501c3, your gift is tax deductible where the law allows. Together, we can turn Brain Drain into America's next big breakthrough.